What up, guys? I am here with JGigs, the one and only. I talked about in the last video, kind of did an impersonal shadow, like, hit me up, please. Message him, amazing conversation. He's here with me. What up, JGigs?
What's up, man? Yeah, the call worked. I'm still, to this day, getting comments going, MurderInc wants to collab. I don't know if you know yet, but...
Yeah. This is awesome.
Everybody's pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, this is the first, like, real collaboration I've done with any creator on the channel, and I'm glad it's you. I really am.
Yeah, man, I think it's long overdue for sure. I appreciate you having me.
So I was browsing, and this is where this all kind of came up. I was browsing my YouTube, and I was on your channel. So I'm scrolling through, I'm clicking on your channel, and I see this video, and it was like, I gotta find it. I'm taking a break from Raid. And it was funny because I figured, like, okay, Diablo 4 is coming out. Like, I'm playing Diablo 4. A lot of people are going to be playing Diablo 4. So, like, when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I need to see this. I need to see what he says. And some of the things you were talking about were so relatable as far as leaving Raid. And I've thought about it before on the few breaks I've taken from the game, but I don't think enough people have discussed it, or I haven't heard it at least. And the key was the sense of routine that we have with Raid is something that, like, you wouldn't consider unless you've been doing it for a decently long time and just stopped out of the blue. Because and you talked about this, how you were like, the next day was weird not logging in, like the Raid effect.
It was, the Raid effect, and then it's been the way I've started my day for like 3+ years. And then especially when I started the Free to Succeed series, every day, it was a thinkless way to get up and start my day. Get up, fodder around for a minute, make my coffee, hit record, tip the mug. And it kicks my day off.
Yeah.
Because, you know, our day all day long is like, all right, what do I do? What's the video? What do I got to do? And I didn't used to have to start that till like 10 or 10:30. And all of a sudden I'm having to start it at 7 a.m. when I get up. And it's like, man, it's a weird way to start the day. So
it really is.
It threw my whole routine off for a little bit. It was weird.
Yeah. So what did you do in that time? Did you so I'm assuming you're in the same boat as me, like, where you stop playing. Like, for me, I have my free-to-play account. Like, I haven't played my main account for quite some time because the game just gets dull. I mean, you've played for as long as I have, and you know that. So the free-to-play, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air. You start over, you get to mess around with new things, and then so I was playing that every day, which surprised me. Didn't think I would be that into it. And then once I was going to take a break for Diablo and other things, it was like I stopped like a few days early before Diablo came out. And it was almost like I got on, I went to launch Plarium play, and I was like, hold on, I'm taking a break. Like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be my break. What am I doing? And it's just like that subconscious, like, have to do clan boss. The structure, I mean, routine's good. It's healthy for you.
Yeah.
People have proven that. But, like, it's just so interesting to see it in a game format where I've never seen it before.
Yeah. It was, for the first couple of days, especially really weird because, like I said, I felt like I was in this limbo, and I would sit down at my desk and I would immediately have to go, because I was still doing videos on Summoner's War, and I was still doing, like, trying to do stuff for the comedy channel and other stuff that I'm doing. So I was still working, but something about that missing part of my morning, I feel like it threw me off creatively for the whole day. Like,
yeah,
it's hard to even explain.
It is hard to explain.
Get in a groove.
That's why I wanted to get you on this call and be like, isn't it weird that this is such a thing? Because, like, I thought about it on my own, and I was like, I don't want to, like, bring it up because I don't want to sound like a weirdo because it's so hard to explain. But it's true. There's such a sense of routine for Raid. And so basically, what did you do in your break? That's kind of what I was getting at with the whole question here.
I just tried to focus on the other things I wanted to focus on. I just needed a little bit of a breather because for a long time, the like, Raid's fun enough. It's fine. But a lot of the fun for me came from the other stuff I would do, the comedy skits and things around it. And it got to the point where it wasn't even fun to make fun of them anymore. It felt like they're so bad. It's like, it's not even fun to pick on you anymore. I feel like I'm being genuinely mean at this point.
And I think you hit it really well when you said it was fun enough. Like, if fun enough is what you have to say, you know there's some I mean, they've struggled with retention since day one. This is not new to anybody that's familiar with the game. So, I mean, I think you just nailed it perfectly when you said fun enough. That was like almost like an enough said
Yep,
statement there. So it was interesting.
pretty
But
much.
yeah,
If it didn't have the graphics, there's no shot
yeah,
it would be here today. No shot. It is not here on its own merit, I feel like. Um, so yeah, I realized I was getting like more irritated about annoying comments, whereas generally they just roll off and I don't think about them long. I just could tell it was building up, and I was like,
yeah,
I feel for the first time in a long time, I felt kind of like I was stuck in this routine and in this game, and I was like, I don't like this. I'm gonna go work on other stuff just for a little bit. I just need a little bit of a breather. I don't want to quit forever. I don't think. Um,
yeah.
so I just took a breather and worked on my other stuff and found a way to have a routine day that felt like it had some structure that didn't need that part of my morning. Does that make sense?
That does make sense for sure.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so do you feel like working on your other channels? I mean, I'm assuming, I'm going to assume that you've always juggled your channels together while playing Raid. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So did you feel like you made you were able to like focus, almost like focus more, or do you think Raid was just imprinted into your schedule so much where you just always had time to do everything, and this was just like one less thing in the back of your mind that maybe you didn't even have to think about anymore?
Yeah. It became for the first little bit of the break because I don't remember exactly. I think it might have been 5 or 6 weeks that I didn't load up Raid at all. For the first week and a half or so, it was very tough. I struggled a lot with, like I said, kicking my day off. I would hit this like the best way to describe it. It sounds like a dramatic term, but it's not as dramatic as it sounds. But like creative paralysis, where I would just sit at my desk like I've got nothing. I
Yeah.
have no ideas that I think are funny or interesting or
And I mean, again, that's the
anything.
thing with schedule changing. People don't realize how powerful a routine is. Like just
Yeah,
swapping that up, like there's definitely a contributing factor there. And like Raid routine, we've said it, but addiction's also another thing. Whether it's, I mean, the gambling thing, we're not even talking about that part, but like being addicted to the routine of playing Raid is definitely a thing. But I also feel like
for
it's the
sure.
second side of
Yeah.
that, where it's like Raid's a pretty easy game. Now that, I mean, you've taken breaks before this, right? This wasn't your first like
A
long break, or was
little
it?
bit, yeah. I
Yeah.
took
So like,
a break of a few months a few years ago, actually.
yeah. So like Raid's kind of an easy game to put down and then pick back up. As far as like what you lose, I guess, since there's not a lot of, I guess, competitiveness in the game with other players. I mean, there is to an extent. Like if you start with 5 friends, and this is assuming everyone's free to play and no one pulls like S tier legendary on the first day. But if you
Right.
start generally, your progression is the same. So like once you get to that 3, 4, 5, 6 month mark, if one person takes 2 weeks to a month break, you're not going to see that big of a gap. And you can just pick back up. You're not going to feel like, oh, I'm crazy behind. You missed a month of Clan Boss. You missed a bunch of energy. They could have gotten some
Or
upgrades, but
fusions.
like, yeah. Oh, yeah, at this rate,
Yeah.
a couple of fusions. And if you missed a good one, it's then I can definitely see the point where it's like, okay, GG, like I'm behind now. Why even play? But
Yeah.
I mean, they've been pretty good with. Or if you miss someone like a Ronda or like a Ninja back then, that would. So those are like bad. Thanks,
Yeah.
JGigs. Thank you. You just killed my point. But anyways, those aside, Raid is generally a pretty easy game to put down and then just pick back up,
Yeah, I agree.
which is surprising because the retention's so low, which is why I think that this whole routine oriented thing with Raid is like on purpose in a sense. Because clearly when people are putting it down, they're not picking it back up again. There's no drive to do it. Because I mean, you have to play for almost as long as we have to be like, I need to get back to it. I mean, also for us, it's a content creation job as well. But for you also, I saw you were talking about Diablo 4.
Yeah.
So did
Yeah,
you?
I considered that I might try to make content for Diablo 4 just because I'm such a big Diablo fan. And I made a channel and I made a couple of videos and I just realized that is not a reasonable thing for me to take on with where my priorities are at with content creation right now. That
Yeah,
I just Diablo is one of those games that I think requires your full attention if you really want to make content for it and succeed that way. And I don't have
100%.
that to give it. Like I just don't have that kind of time for it, so I scrapped it.
Did you enjoy the? I mean, are you still playing?
I do play it pretty casually and I love it, but
Yeah, I
if
think
I
it's a
if I
great
want to do
game.
the other stuff I want to do, yeah, I think they nailed it. And I was very pleasantly surprised because Diablo 3 was a big bummer for me. Diablo 2 is probably in my top 3 all time. I'm
Okay.
a huge Diablo fan, and Diablo 3 was such a heartbreaker for me. So I was hesitant to be excited about this, which is probably why I was so behind the curve, like
Yeah,
not getting excited, not making content. And then it came out and I was like, "Holy shit, it's good. Let me see if I can jump on."
yeah.
But I just don't have the time. So,
Because that's funny because I've been a huge Blizzard guy for a long time, mostly on the World of Warcraft side. Never played a Diablo game. I played like I think half a season of Diablo 3 because my friend was like, "Yo, this game's kind of like Path of Exile. Check it out." And I was like, "Yo, this is kind of cool." But it was the the last season of Diablo 3 before Diablo 4 came out. So I was like, all right, let's see what the hype is for Diablo. And then I enjoyed Diablo 3 because it's the first time playing it. And I was like, it's weird that for playing Blizzard games for, I don't know, since 2011, but I just never tried Diablo 2, which I've heard so much about. Like you said, easily top 3. I kind of feel like I was robbed of that. Like I just never tried it.
yeah. And I always try to clarify for the people that like Diablo 3, as a standalone game, Diablo 3 is fine. But as a fan of Diablo 2, it just didn't capture. There's something that Diablo 2 had that Diablo 3 didn't, and Diablo 4 kind of has it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was like, oh wow, they actually did it. They actually did it this time.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying it.
So for me, like I just wanted to like take a break from Raid and play like no life Diablo and then get back to
Mm-hmm.
Raid. And then what happened was my theory crafting brain just started kicking in. So I made a build. I was like, okay, whatever. Like everyone's making builds in Diablo. So I'm doing this. I'm playing a barbarian in Diablo 4. Then I'm starting to group with people. We're doing runs together. They're like, yo, what's that build you're doing? That's like kind of sick and it's like different. I'm like, bruh, I'm trying to play. Like, I'm not trying to type you a paragraph and build my, because you can't inspect. You know this in the game. You can't like full
Yeah.
inspect to see your skills, your paragon board. I'm like, oh my god. So my editor's like, yo, you liking Diablo 4? I was like, yeah, it's really good. He's like, you're gonna make a video. I'm like, can I just make a video on this build? So like people just stop, like, yo, what's your build? Link, in-game link. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, go look at this video and like let's play the game. Just stop bothering me. Because I was literally getting frustrated. So what I had done, and I want to relate to you on this because first of all, starting a second channel is like way outside of most people's comfort zones. Like, do you feel the same way whenever you started your first channel?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like when you're playing a game, there's like a very low success chance of going on to that other game. So what I did was
Right.
when Lost Ark came out, I was like, I need to test this because everyone knows Raid's not going to last forever. So I started a channel as my first test, and I was like, I'm going to make a Lost Ark channel and see how long it takes me to get monetized since I'm doing this for a living, right? And obviously, you want to keep doing what you're doing for a living in case something happens. So I did it, and it took me like 20 days, I think. And I was like, okay,
That's not bad at all.
I just wanted to see, like, can I do it if I like full send? And it was
Yeah.
honestly a miserable 20 days because I didn't stop Raid like I did in Diablo. I kept doing
Yeah.
Raid and Lost Ark. So juggling back and forth, learning a brand new game, one that was already out in Korea, and trying to compete for views. And so getting monetized in those 20 days, I was like, okay, I did it. And then like I kind of like abandoned the channel, which maybe I shouldn't have done, but I just wanted to see if I could do it first. So when I did this for Diablo, I was like, no, 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 we're not doing that for Diablo 4. I'm just making this one video. And so this was the video 4 weeks ago, and it has 177,000 views.
Yeah.
And then like the top one's 255, 194.
Killing
So
it, dude.
it was like I got lucky. There's no other way to say it. Like I have an awesome editor. He's really good at thumbnails. I have decent practice with Raid, but in the end, I just got lucky to be where I'm at for Diablo 4. Like I think I had, I don't know. Like when I say I think for monetize you need 1,000 subscribers, is that right? Or is it
1,000
2,000?
subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So I was at like 1,020 subscribers when yeah, I mean, you could still see the Lost Ark channel on the bottom here. I just made a
Oh,
playlist.
okay.
Yeah, so I just
Yeah.
renamed it because I was like, once I saw the video get, I think it got like 55,000 views in the first 8 hours. I was like, hold on,
Yeah, that's
we're not doing things for free around here. I instantly turned on the monetization and I was like, yo, thank God. I thought to myself that why make a new channel when I have a monetized one? Because I was like,
yeah.
I didn't really believe it myself, but I was like, just in case, why not be safe? And yeah, I mean, like I said, I got lucky. We have 1.9 million views. I think we got 1.7 in the past 28 days that I've been doing it so
That's
far. So
killer.
I don't know what I'm going to do with Raid. That's kind of like
I was
where
just about to ask, what are you going to do with Raid now?
well, that's what I want to ask you too. Like, how has the break treated you since I mean, how long have you been back or like been back to Raid?
Maybe 3 weeks, maybe.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
So I feel
Some 3 or
like,
4 weeks.
yeah. So like, I made one video on my Raid account or my Raid channel. Let me see. MurderInc Raid right there. MurderInc Raid. So yeah, I made this one video. Oh my god. I didn't want to make it, but my clanmates were like, yo, Murder, you like drama, right? And I was like, I'm listening. He's like, you want to farm some tiers? And I was like, go on. He's like, make a video on this. And at first I was like, bro, I'm D4 grinding right now. I can't. And then more pings, more pings. So I was like, you win. You win. Like, I'll do it. So I made that 11 days ago. And like, I don't want to stop playing Raid because so the new boss came out, right? Where is it?
Yeah.
Can I even
That
see it? Or
Shogun dude or whatever.
yeah, I can't see it. So like, how is that? I don't know anything
I've
about
done
it.
stage one. So I started a new account as well. So I'm still very early game. I
Oh,
haven't touched
okay.
my other accounts in months at this point. So I'm only playing the new account right now. But I did
Gotcha.
stage one. It seemed fun. You know how they do now. They do all the new skills have a paragraph of information you're supposed to remember, and then
Yeah.
somebody's just going to drop a video and beat it with one champ in 40 seconds. So
Yeah. And not just
like whatever.
one champion fully ascended, full faction guardian,
Right.
like the free to play team routine, right? Using like
Right.
2 epics and like 3 rares, but they all have the best gear in the world. They took
Right.
it like off their main champions. Like, you won't believe this team. Like, I saw the test server ping for it, and I was, like I said, just in the D4 zone, and I was like, like I want to take the time to do this, but again, just like a fear factor because when you get numbers that I've been lucky to get in Diablo 4, you're like, when's it gonna end? And I know that's a terrible way to think, but like if you're gonna be realistic, you have to always be like, I have to stay ahead of
Yeah.
this. So I have for sure been lucky, or I've kept it stable. Like 2 days ago, 68, 18 hours ago, 34. So we've been relatively stable, 100K 8 days ago, but it's always on my mind. Like I have to keep this going if I want to make this work. And I'm lucky. First of all, the raid community is insane. Like I know that, you know that, and like I'm lucky
Yeah.
that the Diablo 4 one is as well. I got really lucky there. Like it could have been a nightmare for me, but they're just as awesome. And there's so many raid people, which is crazy. I'll see comments like,
Hmm.
"Wait, I used to watch your raid videos, and then I realized that game was dog, so I stopped. But like, you're here, so that's
Yeah.
sick." And it was crazy that, I mean, I can kind of see the customization inside of Raid and how there's like a crossover between the two for sure. But yeah, I mean, I can't quit Raid. I don't think I can. I think I've played it for too long, and it's fundamentally a good game. And this is like kind of like the last one I want to talk to you about. How they keep adding content that, and yes, it's adding to our playtime, but like, remember how good the start of the game was for us? It's because
Yeah.
there was so much like one and done content in a sense. It was like you did normal mode, Demon Lord, done. You never did it again. Did the next
Yeah.
difficulty, the next one, then I guess you could say, but you're still farming it every day. But it still felt good to accomplish a one and done thing. Like Nightmare Campaign when that came out, one and done. Like no one's really farming that. And I just feel like they don't have that now. They're adding all farmable content. Like Doom Tower, I want to hear
Yeah.
your thoughts on Doom Tower because I think that's like a 50-50. You technically don't have to do it every day if you just want to pick a difficulty. Yes, you're going to lose some resources, but realistically,
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are clearing hard as far as the whole player base goes. So if you can clear normal and like 1/4 of hard, and you decide to only clear normal, it's pretty chill for your downtime on Doom Tower.
Yeah.
So I think
I
we just need content like that instead of like the new
Yeah.
farmable
More
stuff.
milestone. Like
Yeah,
more milestone content, not
yeah,
repeatable content. If they're not going to give us any time saving features, they got to stop adding farmable dungeons.
I
There's
agree.
no multitasking in the game, but they keep adding extra tasks. Like I don't know how
Exactly.
much time you think. Like I'm a content creator, and
Yeah,
it would be a struggle to stay on top of everything. Like
yeah. It's
it's
crazy because
they
like
don't get
we
it.
can stay on top of things because we're full time for what we do. Like we can stay on top of it, but like when you start thinking outside, you're like, how are people doing this? Like
Yeah,
there's no way they have to be sacrificing something.
for
Like
sure. Anybody that
before,
doesn't
yeah,
have a job where they're at a computer is probably not keeping up to any degree.
exactly. And I agree. I mean, I don't know what they would do. I really don't. Like,
Yeah, there's a
I've
few
thought
things.
about this.
Summoner's War has a multi-battle feature where, let's say you bring up Dragon, you set up your multi-battles. It then puts that in a window that can be minimized,
I
and
was
you can
gonna
still go do
say,
Arena, Doom
so
Tower.
in AFK farming, so what I've seen in other games, they have it like here and like the sidebar where we use it to get our news and the login rewards, and then you click on this sidebar and it's like, how much energy do you want to put into what dungeon? And you click on it and it
Right.
says pending and it'll last 5 hours. See, honestly, who cares how many hours they put it? Make it cost energy, have it so you can use it twice a day, like 2 charges a day, and you can load up as much as you want energy wise, or if you've reached the limit on something. And 2 charges means 2 separate pieces of content. Dragon and Fire Knight, 2 charges right there used. If you want to do the new dungeons, that's a charge as well. New dungeons would be limited, so maybe someone wouldn't want to do that. But if you think they're annoying, maybe that is the option there. When I
Yeah.
meant limited, I was referring to like the Iron Twins.
Right.
Like some people don't want to do the Iron Twins, even though it's a key system. But then I can. It's hard, and I hate doing this, but like here I am thinking about Plarium
Right.
win rate. Right? What are they going to do with win rate? Most people don't have 100% win rate teams. So how do you determine when someone can use a system like that? Do you have to beat it on full auto X amount of times? Because then Plarium loses, right? You're getting more gear than
Yeah.
you would get if you just farmed it yourself. But if it helps retention and keeps you on the game, it's hard to speculate like that.
Maybe it simulates farming with your team, and you can say at 5 fails stop, or like set a counter. But that way you still have to have the team, you still have to be able to beat it. They still have to have their gear. It just lets you
Yeah,
simulate the runs while you do other stuff in the game.
that would be interesting for sure. That sounds expensive. I don't know anything about coding, but that sounds expensive. I mean, I hate saying expensive for this game because, bruh, we know how much they've made.
Yeah.
I mean, they're releasing these top quality animated feature. Have you watched these? The Call of the Arbiter?
I have not yet, actually.
I've
I've heard
watched
good things though.
I've watched a few of them and they're like really impressive. Like I
Yeah,
wanted them not to be good when I saw the first one. I was like, I mean, this could be a
I know.
movie. This could literally be a movie. So they did well there,
Damn.
but yeah, it
That's
was
that's that's what makes it more frustrating is that we know they have the budget and we know they have the talent. And
oh
it's
for
it's a
sure.
shame sometimes that it feels like we sit here thinking more about what would be good for the game than they do.
Yeah. And I've talked about this with a few people. It's like the people we're talking to as like us specifically as content creators, and then me as a moderator of the game. I even talked to someone that's different from the content creators, and the people we are talking to and relaying this feedback to, they get it. Like they would
Yeah.
100% get the struggle.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's a chain, and once you start getting into chains, things get lost real quickly, and the disconnect becomes very clear. I know this from working
Very
a
clear.
corporate
Yeah.
level job before, where the people that we talk to, the ones who they talk to, so one tier up from where we're going, they understand the struggle. Add 2 more tiers and you get to the real decision making. Guarantee you they have no idea about this game. Guarantee it.
Yeah. Don't have an account.
And
Don't know how to play it.
it just gets lost as you keep adding people to talk to. So like I feel for the people we're talking to. Like I feel for them
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
But like
And
I
they're
don't
great
use
at their jobs too.
they are.
Like
But I don't
it's got to
use
be
that
a
as
real
an
pain in the
excuse
ass
for
to
the
manage
game.
everybody.
Like I definitely
Yeah,
don't use that as an excuse for the game. It's just like I don't know whether they add 30 minutes of their week. Like, hey, sit down and play your game. We'll give you any account you want. We can sandbox whatever level. Just play your game for a second and see what
Yeah.
players are talking about. Just to give them that perspective. I think that's what they need. I think perspective is really what's needed at the top level to make this game better. So, I mean, kind of, there's been 5 side conversations from the initial one. I'm sticking with Raid
Yeah.
still. I'm leaving for now, but I'm gonna come back. I've heard Nut, that's his name, right? Nut. I guess not a meme. Yeah, it's literally
Oh,
Nut.
yeah.
Yeah. So heard he. Oh, this guy actually looks terrible. What happened?
Yeah, he's boring looking as hell, but I hear he's
He's
really
really
good.
boring. Yeah, I heard he's good too. So I heard this is a dope fusion, which is good. Good fusions are always good. Heard it was a bit tight on the free to play. If you want to get him,
Yeah.
heard.
I couldn't do it, but my account's level like 44, so
Yeah.
I'm still a little bit early.
Yeah, but I heard like they made it so I don't know if you can skip. I don't know. I barely can keep track, but if what I heard is true, they were saying that you can't skip anything for the fusion, which sounds weird. I don't know if that's true,
Yeah.
but they were
Unless
like,
you get one of the epic. I think you could get the epic from the summon rush, of course. But I think if you didn't pull that off, you pretty much can't miss anything. Yeah.
So I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Do you think you see yourself continuing on with Raid, or would you like to kind of start spending more time on your other stuff?
So I think the balance I've struck is that I'm very happy to play Raid casually. I enjoy Raid casually. I wake up and I make my video in the morning. I have it up right now on my second monitor, and I kind of farm throughout the day. But it's very casual. It's not my top priority. So I have prioritized my efforts into like my comedy channel, for example, because that's where I really want to put my effort. So I'm happy to do it like that. I don't feel like it's really taking away any of my time. It's not much of a drain on me. I'm a casual Raid player that happens to make content for the game at this point. Like, and I'm pretty happy with being there. I think any more invested in Raid than that, and I would be exhausted with it because it's a real bummer to be a heavy Raid player these days. Yeah, that channel. That's the one I'm putting all my energy into right now. Yeah.
Yeah, this is dope. I mean, first of all,
bad movie reviews, and
you can tell just by watching someone when they're doing like something a little bit different. Like they're both obviously YouTube content creation, but you can just tell by watching when someone really, really enjoys what they're doing. And you even notice as a creator, like if you're talking about something and you like have a lot of fun, it's like, wow, like I can't believe I just did a video on that. Like that was amazing.
Yeah.
And like you definitely notice that with Raid after a certain period of time. Like I remember DMing you at Discord and talking to you about this. Neither of us have ever been like announcement YouTubers. We're not making 10-minute videos about the announcements because I've tried it before, hated it. I did it like 3 times and I was like, nah. Even if I was getting like 100,000 views, it's like, all right, maybe for 100,000 we're talking. Okay, hold on.
Maybe. If we're talking 6-digit views, maybe.
Yeah, hold on. Let me rewind that back. I'm getting 99,999 views on something. You got to
Yeah.
cut the line somewhere.
Like that. Yeah.
I don't think so. Just because like, and like I commend the people who do that because that must be miserable. Maybe it's fine for them. Maybe it's just like a
And it's
routine.
helpful. Like
Yeah,
it's great for the community. I can't do it. I can't just sit and wait on. And not that
yeah.
that's what anybody's doing, but like I feel like raid Discord pings. I got to go check it and see what the announcement is and try to be first. And like I don't have the energy for that.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do it. I
That's
know it
just
would be beneficial, but I
another
just don't
added
want to do
layer
it.
of the YouTube game too. It's like now we're in this content creator program, which if there is one for Diablo, I have no idea about it, and I kind of like almost prefer it that way, because then
Yeah.
I feel like a CC program, people start feeling real entitled. Like I'm in
God, yes.
here making this game so much better. It's like, bruh,
Yeah.
think about the company you're talking about and how much they're
Yeah.
making. If you think they would blink to drop the entire CC program tomorrow, you're crazy. Like they're absolutely crazy if they think that. Because I remember I used to
Yeah.
study this a lot, like the amount of people who watch YouTube compared to the amount of daily or monthly downloads of the game, it's so skewed. Like the amount of people watching YouTube is so small, which means that people just don't care. They're playing on their phones. They don't care to look up any guides about it. They just don't. Playing casually, 1 week, 2 week, maybe if they stick with it, that's when they'll be like, maybe I'll look up a guide here and there. But we have such a small presence in this whole raid sphere environment compared to so many other games. It's like even Summoner's War. I used to study a lot of Summoner's War uh, content creators to like get better at YouTube, and their views were
Yeah.
like insane compared to raid views. And I'm like, I get the
Mm-hmm.
game's been out for longer, but there's no way it's bigger than raid. Like raid was like a powerhouse, the new hype. Everyone was doing ads and promos for it.
That marketing campaign was
Oh,
wild,
massive.
dude.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I think
I
we
would be
agree there.
curious to see what the difference is between spenders who watch YouTube and don't. Like what portion of the player base that doesn't watch YouTube, how much do they spend versus the portion that watches YouTube? Because I mean, we know of a lot of whales, but how many whales have never loaded up a YouTube video? That would
That's
be
what
kind of interesting to see.
I wonder that too. I always think about this when I'm on the test server, like, and I'm testing a new boss, Hydra specifically. When I was testing Hydra, I was like, just it hit me kind of like you were saying, like there are so many people that play this game, and like I know they're not watching YouTube. Like, imagine how many insane teams are going to be made by players
Yeah.
that no one will ever know about because
Yeah.
they don't have Discord. They only play on their phone. They may not even know English. They could be from another country and just don't speak the language, which is why there's decent support for languages. I mean, from what I've seen in moderator chat and in CC chat, a lot of the translations are kind of scuffed before they come out, so they have to like go back and fix it. But I think about that all the time. Like the biggest whales in this game, we could not know who they are because they could be in no-name clans or just clanless. Like I brought this up and
Yeah.
people said I was crazy for thinking this, but I don't think it's that crazy. I think there could be krakens that are clanless, and I mean it's hard to imagine they don't do arena at all, but like they could not do arena. They could just be doing something as simple as clan. I mean, this could be copium too. This almost sounds ridiculous saying it, but to rule it out 100%, I can't do it. To think that there are just
Yeah.
some crazy krakens out there that we don't know about in the game. Because I do think, for your question,
There's
that a
got to be.
majority of spenders are watching some type of content. I do think, I don't think all, but I think the majority. Because I would say the
That's how
spending,
I feel.
yeah. I mean, and I'm not talking about like, when I say spenders, I mean like have put at least 4 or 5 digits into the game.
Yeah.
When you go smaller than that, I think there's a massive amount of people who will never watch content. I think that's like their target
For
market,
sure.
and I think that's what we are missing on YouTube as a whole, as far as audience grabbing. But I think like the big whales, I think most of them are watching YouTube at some point, and once you get endgame enough, you don't have to watch YouTube for anything besides like fun, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
kind of what I think. Because I think people that spend that much on the game, in some cases, not certainly not all cases, but in some cases, people that are spending that much probably don't know the game as well. So they're trying they just buy
yeah.
their way to the top.
Oh,
And
I've
YouTube
seen it.
videos are a great way to
I've
like
seen.
model your behavior.
Yeah, I would never show it. It was just this is part of the reason why I stopped streaming my takeovers. But like the amount of whales that have come to me for a takeover, and they just didn't know anything about the game. I couldn't believe it at first, but it's so common because Raid, it's addicting when you start spending. I've spent money on
Yeah.
Raid. It's addicting. You get shards, you have no champions, and you start getting all of these crazy legendaries, especially
Hmm.
if it's during
You
an
can't
event
buy
here.
understanding though.
Exactly, you can't. And then what happens when you have uh, a list of level 1 legendaries? You're reading their kits like, okay, immune to turn meter reduction, like, okay, my bar, like, sick, but how does that apply to dragon, arena, and like, so I just get takeovers that have like a page full of legendaries, like top tier legendaries that just aren't invested in. And they're like, oh, like the champion looks kind of dumb. I'm like, bruh, you just talked about Duchess. Like, what do you mean the champion looks kind of dumb? It's like that was a real example. Like the champion looks kind of dumb because they had some epic reviver that they were using for forever. I think it
Wow.
was, yeah, but they were like, this one's already 60. Like I get the gold border, but like it's an AoE 60. I'm pretty sure it's Gorgorob. I'll just think about like from an experienced player's point of view, a Duchess to a Gorgorob. Like Gorgorob's good for sure,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
he's all right. He's usable.
he's not Duchess. But they were like, I mean, let me just make sure I have the right champion. Gorgorob has an AoE revive, right?
Yeah. Pretty sure. With
You
his
know what?
turn meter boost, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it was Gorgorob. I was like, hold on. Hopefully I'm not that out of touch. So yeah, it was Gorgorob, but like I kind of get the point, and I feel like it's an easy whale bait to be like, this champion already does that. So like, why would I invest in a champion that needs books? You can see the prices. Like when you look at legendary books, they're probably thinking, why would I use a champion that does the same thing but needs 12 of these legendary skill tomes that almost cost $10 each in normal packs? And I bet a lot of them look at this stupid bank here, like $25 a book, 5 limit per week. They're like, hold on, why would I use this on this random, like weird looking Duchess
Yeah.
legendary when I have Gorgoroth, who's just AoE reviving and like it's lit. So like I get the
Any attack
initial thought
buffs.
process. Yeah, exactly. So does she. And so like I get the basic level of thought process, but hearing it from our point of view, it's like that's wild.
Yeah.
It's just little things like that. But yeah, this has been a
You have
dope
some
talk.
crazy pulls on this account, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like that's
I,
kind of
I've been.
ridiculous.
You know what's funny? I actually started going for Razin because I was so close. I think I'm missing one. I'm missing one. What's it called? Rare, and it's one of the random
Okay.
pull ones, so it could be forever. But
Is
yeah,
it Courtier or whatever his name is? Courtier?
it is. It might be. If you
I
got
feel like
that,
it's always him,
that's
dude.
insane. No, it's Wanderer.
Oh, is it Wander? Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious who you're talking about.
I think top right. No, that's Halberd. Maybe that is who I meant. I think that might have been who I meant. It's Halberdier.
Yeah.
I feel like every time
Wait, wait,
anyone's
wait.
ever like, I need one more piece for Rosin, it's him.
Wait, I don't have him either. I lied. I'm missing two.
It'll
That's
be the last one.
yo, that's
It'll
crazy.
be the last one
So
you get
so
for
you
sure.
so you did get it right, and I'm trolling. So this one I can farm. I need Wanderer, and I need the one that you thought was Courtier, but you actually nailed it. I don't have him. Yo, is this a conspiracy we have to look into now?
The
Like,
rate's
let's
got to be lower on him or something, dude.
confirm. Is this like the Stagnite? You can't pull Stagnite from a shard, which nobody knew for like what was that 4 months? It's funny how you just knew that I was missing this one. God. Anyways, yeah, this account did get really lucky, especially, I mean, the Geomancer was like massive.
Yeah, that's
That's
wild.
probably why it was so fun. Honestly, if I got terrible pulls, probably would have put this down a while ago. But and then Elva being
It
the
helps
first
for sure.
legendary, Artek, of course, very strong login with Rhonda. I
He
started it
is
at the
crazy.
in the
He's
last 7 days of Rhonda. And then
wow.
yeah, let me see what my 134. I think I logged in 90 or maybe 89 days straight, which was crazy. I
Okay,
never thought I'd
nice.
do that. And yeah, it will happen. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But this has been a
I
dope
just got
chat.
Haikatoon on
Oh,
mine.
you just got Haikatoon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, oh wow, so you're real.
We're real new.
Oh,
I
you're
think she's the first. Yeah.
30
We just hit
days.
her yesterday.
Gotcha. Oh, that makes sense because you said 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. 3, 4,
Least-
something like that.
Yeah, at least we get free rewards from this stuff. You can't complain about free stuff, even if you're not watching it.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at what the code chase codes are. They'll be somewhere. They should just have
I,
that in game.
it,
Just give us the codes.
yeah.
Just let
I
us
think it's
know.
revenge, but I'm not sure.
What for the codes?
Yeah, I think the code for the last episode is revenge, but I'm not
Oh, I
entirely
thought you
sure.
meant like Plarium was doing something sus. And
Oh
like,
no,
yeah,
yeah, they're
I think they're just coming at us. I think
shit.
hey,
Oh, maybe 8. Maybe it's for 8.
I was about
I
to
might
say,
just be
hold
making
on.
it all up too.
Hey, yeah, there we go. I was about to say, hold on. Caught in 4K, giving bad info. What's up with that? There we
That's
go.
why I'm not a news channel.
Exactly. Hey guys, code is revenge for 7 specifically. I feel that. Yeah, I couldn't. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the news channels, to an extent, I mean, that's why it's always hard. And I tell people not to judge legendaries. Like, when we get that first information on the kit, nowadays, maybe it's a bit easier to judge them. But like, I still have scars from like Rotos when everyone said like Rotos looked bad. And then
Hmm.
he's just like this like OP extra turn one
Broke the
shotting
game.
machine. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, that's what like made me blow up in raid to start with. I was like, guys, Rotos is busted, and I made a video on it. I showed him doing clan boss, arena, just everything, just destroying. And that's when it was like, oh, we just read his kit wrong. Because I guess his kit is kind of weird, and he has such a low
Yeah.
base stats too, where the gaining health didn't make a lot of sense. And with lower stats, he wasn't gaining too much health to begin with. So I definitely could see how, at first look, without a lot of thought to it, if you're just reading it off, maybe like don't go for Rotos. And I still get people commenting now, like, man, I'm so mad I didn't go for Rotos. I just took the worst advice. And it's a hard mistake to make when you are doing a news channel like that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, this collab was dope for sure. Definitely had a ton of
Yeah, man, it
fun.
was.
And
Yeah, it was dope.
I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're on
Absolutely.
Australia, the other side of the world from me, and I don't think it's brought up enough that taking time to collab, like everyone's doing their own thing. So like I do appreciate you taking the time and coming out and doing this
Yeah,
because
man.
it was fun.
Absolutely. Like I said, long overdue. It's good to get
Yeah,
together
yeah.
and chat for a little bit.
So hopefully the first of many more. I would love to come on your channel sometime and talk about anything. It doesn't have to be raid. It could just be YouTube stuff, just growing in general as creators, or some raid stuff. We kind of hit on some really cool points already, where like the future of raid, where it could go, where it may not go. So I definitely think there's a lot to go on there. So would love to do it again
Yeah,
sometime for sure.
for sure.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for me and JGigs. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next upload.